Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Mandy and I'm going to try to do a bloom today over this painting that you may have seen in our last video. I sort of like it and I don't at the same time. So this is the painting. The middle just dried too dark, so there's not enough contrast. I love this part, I love this part, I love this part. I don't like this part, but I could probably deal with this if it dried beautifully, except for this just dried too dark. So we're going to paint over that. We're going to use a black pillow, just on the off chance that the color shows through a white pillow. That's kind of my thought, is we're going to use a black one. And, you know, I just don't have a particular plan. I'm going to use a black cell activator. I'm going to use some colors. I don't exactly know which ones yet. I have an idea. So I'm going to put on the pillow and we're going to kind of wing it. So I'm going to use the black onyx satin from Colourarte. I have it in this fancy olive jar, which I know makes you guys feel like I'm so fancy using an olive jar. But this is a 10-inch round Frederick's canvas. I got the canvas at Blick. I taped up the back. This is way too much pillow paint, I think. But that's what I do. I use too much pillow paint. And there's some bubbles in there. See if I can't pop those. Of course not. Why would they pop easily? So I'm a little behind the 8 ball this week. This video should have gone out already and should have been done by earlier in the week to go out early on Sunday morning. So I'm not sure if you're going to see this Sunday afternoon or Monday morning, but here I am doing the best I can. So black pillow paint is down. We move this out of the way because I've knocked things down before, so let me not do that. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing super awesome. I think the first paint I'm going to put down, this is a PrizmPour color called Royal Sapphire, and I love it. But this is the color before the PrizmPour sets were released. It looks a little bluer on camera than it does in person. So this is a sample, and I mixed it up when I had the samples come before the actual release of the PrizmPour. So since I have had this mixed up for a while, I'm going to go ahead and use that as my first layer. Give us a nice strong color on the bottom. I love the way these look over a black surface too, because they're just so shimmery and so beautiful. So yeah, that's one color. And that allowed me to use that up. The next color I think I'm going to put down is, I'm really torn at this point about where to go next, is I think I'm going to use Pandora Star. This is from the most recent Primary Elements set, and I'm mixing it up with you. It's been sitting here for a little bit. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. Having a brain lapse on the name. Rustic Autumn is the name. It's a beautiful color. So I think we're gonna put a nice dose of that on there. And I'm gonna move that out of the way so I don't spill it. And then I'm gonna put some African Violet PrizmPour down. Yeah, really torn about which one of these. You know what? I'm not gonna do African Violet next. I'm gonna do Blue Velvet next. I'm torn. I don't know which one to do next. I'm torn between putting the African Violet toward the top or the Blue Velvet toward the top. I'm gonna do Blue Velvet toward the top. So this is African Violet. Sorry about my indecisiveness while we're here hanging out. African Violet. It's just a gorgeous color. I was tempted to not put it right next to the Pandora Star because I thought the blue velvet would add some more contrast, and I'm probably right about that, but here we are. Now we're going to do Oceanus, which is also from the Rustic Autumn set. So many beautiful colors in this set. It's so hard to decide sometimes. Don't forget you can save 20% off of anything on the Colourarte website with my code below, which is Mandy1120. So that includes this set, the PrizmPour, all of that. Such a pretty color. So let's do this. And I had a couple of colors in mind when I started this, and I just went in and grabbed random colors. So if it seems like I don't have a plan, I guess that's partially true, but I sort of have a plan. I don't know if this happens to you guys, but I go to, excuse me, I go to paint and I have so many things in mind that I cannot narrow things down. And it's just hard for me. I try, I really do. Get some of these superficial bubbles. But it's, with so many beautiful colors, sometimes it's like, how do you pick, right? Okay. Let me pop a couple of these. Like, I know you're not supposed to torch blooms. I know that. But there are times where you're like, would it really be that bad? Because the bubbles are so crazy sometimes. But generally speaking, you're not supposed to torch them because it's house paint underneath here and in your mix, and so you generally don't want to torch house paint. It's not the same as acrylic paint, although we might have acrylic paint mixed in here. You don't necessarily want to torch house paint. It creates a paint skin, burns the paint. It's bad. But there are times where you're like, dude, bubbles, hostile bubble takeover, you know? Okay, so we're gonna put Pinky Swear on top of this one. So this is also from the Rustic Autumn set, and I have not used this color or Pandora Star yet. So I thought, why not? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now so far down here we have a lot of colors who they're not necessarily similar, but they can go together, right? So we got to work in some contrast, or at least we're going to. I don't know if we have to, but we're going to. I gotta move my lids over here. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna put some blue velvet, which is a PrizmPour color, and I'm a fan of it. Put that here. And then we're going to use the PrizmPour that came with this set as a bonus, which is Golden Poppy. I have not used this color yet either, so I'm pretty excited about it. Has some stuff floating in it that from my varnish I need to stir in. And I'm also still practicing using my new Baby Bliss hair dryer. We call it Baby Bliss, but that's not how it's spelled. It's spelled Baby Bliss. And I love it, but I am still getting the hang of using it. I don't think any hair dryer used for blooms has like the magic sauce that you just automatically are great at using it. I think that takes time. So Golden Poppy. Here's our pop of color, right? I might have put too much there in the center, but whatever. And then I recommend putting a typical normal acrylic paint underneath your cell activator. It helps with cell stability. My Golden Poppy is mixed a little thin, so I'm a little bit nervous about putting that one toward the top. but we're gonna give it a shot. So I'm going to use Liquitex Fluorescent Violet Gouache as my top layer. And I wanted to have a bright color on the top because I'm using a black cell activator. So sometimes if you're using a black pillow and you're using kind of dark colors, you need something that pops a little bit to have enough contrast for a black cell activator, because you just got darkness everywhere. And I love a dramatic dark pillow, of course, but having some challenges with these stupid bubbles, but we're gonna go with it. So this is the Fluorescent Violet Gouache. I'm gonna put a nice puddle up at the top because, again, my golden poppy is mixed a little thin. I'm a little concerned about cell structure if I blow out my cell activator just on top of that. So yeah, let's see how this goes. I wanted to put mahogany in here too because I really love that color, but then I thought, well, we already have way too many colors. So let me get my cell activator going, my hair dryer plugged in, and we'll give it a go. I broke the cardinal rule of not using a torch, so hopefully I didn't mess it up, but the bubbles were taken over. So my cell activator today is M Graham. I think it's Mars Black. I get it at Blick. It's mixed with Australian Floetrol. I love it. I recently got the titanium white, and I'm excited to try that. Sometimes I mess up when I go in swirls like that because then I mess up my center. Okay. So this is a 10-inch. I really don't need this much cell activator, but okay, pardon my head. I'm just enlarging my charts a little is all. Okay. On low and cool. Kind of messed up here. I don't know if I can fix it. Whew. It's always one spot, right? Yikes, I really screwed that up. I shouldn't have tried to fix it. Now my cells are all wonky right here. Feels like I don't learn sometimes, you know? Okay. So when I went back in, I kind of screwed up my middle. So I went down into the pillow just now a little bit. I don't know if I can save this part right here, but a black pillow is a lot more forgiving than a white one, so we're gonna do our best. I still have way too much cell activator in the center, but it's still developing. That's kind of what I mean about you have to get used to the hair dryer you're using, because as much as you know what you should be doing, when you actually blow it out, you either take some chances or you don't, and sometimes the chances that you take really screw things up. And then sometimes you catch a break and it works out fine. But in this case, it did not work out that fine. And all right here where I re-blew it, my cells are very wonky. But the good thing is it's all in this one spot. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, actually, to be honest with you, but we'll see. Just trying to open up the places where I didn't do a good job. But the middle is getting kind of crazy, so I'm going to have to make some quick adjustments. All right, so thankfully my center kind of came back up. Usually I don't get great results tilting. I find that it doesn't always tilt in the same direction, and so sometimes I get more warping with my cells than I do have any success. So I am trying to take a chance here because we have some stuff that would look a lot better if we could get it to go the other direction. But again, I don't always have the greatest success with that. So I'm not trying to do too much of it because I'm afraid that it will kind of backfire. So I'm just taking some of the places where we don't have as much interest and structure in the blowout, and I'm trying to make sense of these little skinny little petals that may not be the greatest looking on their own. I don't want to make, I have found that I am not particularly gifted to make swirls make sense. So I try to not over swirl because for me, they don't always work out so well. And you gotta play to your strengths sometimes, you know? This part here is kind of crazy looking. Or we kind of dipped into the pillow. So I'm trying to take some of the blocks of color and make them do something cool where the center is sort of messed up. But it's kind of difficult to envision how it's going to blow out. And I know I shouldn't torch this, but I'm gonna. The bubbles are just fierce, you know? Sometimes you take a chance. So this part's kind of naked right here. This part, I can't drag this out too long because the center is already overly squiggly. We have lost a lot of cell structure by all the random things I did. So just trying to make something crazy look a little more beautiful, you know? Isn't that what we do sometimes with life too? Okay, let's spin it a little bit, see if we can't get some of that to the edge and see what it's gonna do. I love the colors. It's not my best work on the composition side, but it seems to be the theme for me lately. Beautiful colors, crazy composition, lots of bubbles. I love this royal sapphire color. It's so beautiful. Where did my bubble popper thing go? Okay. Trying to pop some of the surface level ones. Let's see if we, whoa, might have spun a little too aggressively there. don't hate it. It's certainly not my best. Some really beautiful cells right here and right here. Can y'all see that? Sort of, you can. Little too much swirling here. Kind of need this part to open up a little bit. I think the Fluoro Violet and the Golden Poppy really look beautiful together. They play nicely. I just feel like we lost a lot of really good color opportunity over here. I mean, the colors are pretty, but it feels like we lost some composition here. And it's just super naked right here. But in some places it's kind of like that. So it seems to work a little bit. I don't know, y'all. I really like this part, but I don't necessarily like what's right next to it. So I don't know. This is why we practice. Let's get it a little closer to the edge. We got to open it up just a wee bit more. This is a little busy right here, just because it's like such a huge pop of color where there isn't as much of that color. So I feel like, whoa, like we gotta get that a little bit more to the edge, or maybe embellish it a little bit. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I know that this composition is not my best, but I think it still has its own beauty. What are your thoughts? I tend to look at something differently after I've walked away from it and had a minute to take a look at it with fresh eyes. Part of me wants to mess with this so it's not so much of the teal in one place and less in another. I think we probably still need to get some paint off. I'm getting paint all over the counter. Not a good move. I feel like the Golden Poppy and the Fluoro Violet are definitely more dominant than some of the colors we laid down underneath. Obviously a lot of that has to do with using a black pillow. I see the African Violet in some places. I can see Pinky Swear and Pandora Star in there. But this is why sometimes using too many colors kind of works against you, because you don't see them all. So let me pop a couple bubbles, bring you down for a close-up. I guess I like it better than what we painted over, but I still need to get the hang of using this blow dryer. It's like got the perfect amount of power to give you good cells. What's the best way to describe it? It doesn't always work. So typically when you blow out a bloom, I can't even show you because my hands are covered in paint, but you kind of blow one direction and kind of, at least I do, follow the trajectory of like a circle around the bloom, because I'm not really great at kind of easing up and pulling away so that it gets kind of a collateral circle. But what I found is it's powerful enough that if you keep doing that, sometimes it blows it before you're ready to get it. So I think it's going to be some practice getting used to it, but I really, really think it's going to work great when I'm used to it. The only thing I would like is to have a little bit more of this come to the edge, just a little bit. Oh, sorry, I just bumped the camera with my head. That's helpful. I wanted this to kind of expand, but it didn't. And the places where I tilted made the cells wiggly, so more tilting wasn't going to be a good answer to fix that, unfortunately. Not much paint is spinning off at this point, so, well, there goes some. But I think most of that's from the spinner. But I got a little closer to the edge. I don't know. Curious what you guys think. Let me bring you down for a close-up. Be right back. You lovely people, let's take a look at this chaos up close. So there's some parts that are really beautiful. Let me show them to you. This part is delicious. Again, I love the cell activator. Let's not blame the cell activator for my lack of skill using my new dryer. This part's okay. It kind of looks like we spread that out that way on purpose. We didn't, but not everyone will know that. This part's a little naked, but I love the center right here. I'm a little concerned about how the center is going to dry because it took me so long to spin it out. And we have some lines that are really close to each other here from where I screwed up that second part of the blowout. This here is sad, but this part is beautiful. I wish we could have had that kind of action all the way up here. But again, that's operator error. Love these cells right here. This fluoro violet color is so pretty. And I had this idea. Here's the part I kind of catastrophically messed up. But I do like this part right here. I had this idea that using the fluoro violet with maybe some warmer colors like the golden poppy and the mahogany would be a really fun way to use that rustic earth color in a bloom, which I really love that color. So, you know, hang in there with me. It's probably gonna make another appearance. So yeah, anyway, I thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget about your discount codes listed below. I've got a link for Blick. I've got a link for Colourarte with the promo code, Pixel Paint Designs with the promo code, which is where I get my Australian Floetrol and my Boom Gels. Again, this is not my best bloom. It's certainly not my worst. And this is why we practice. And so I thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're new, I would love it if you would subscribe and join our little art family. And not all of the things that we do are crazy looking, but I do share my fails with you guys. I don't know that I would call this a fail. It's not a huge success, but beautiful colors. And I think once it's resined and all of that, it will be beautiful. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Stay safe. Thank you again for watching. Have a good day.